program brought to you by Harvey Norman for everything you need: furniture, bedding, electrical and technology.
King for a day, a royal castle opened up to visitors for the first time, and a major blow for the Knights ahead of their clash with the Dragons. Tyson Frizzell ruled out. Tonight, the man behind the coward punch death of Thomas Kelly about to be released from jail.
The New England highway blocked near Scone after two trucks and an SUV collide.
A former Channel 7 producer fronts court armed with explosive claims in the Lerman defamation case.
A surprise shake-up at the top of the SES just as parts of New South Wales face flooding.
And a big injury blow for the Knights ahead of tomorrow's clash with the Dragons.
This is NBN News with Gavin and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. He spent more than a decade behind bars. Now, coward punch killer Kieran Loveridge will be released on parole in as little as 2 weeks.
Thomas Kelly lost his life in the drunken attack in Sydney in 2012. Today it was revealed Loveridge was caught with alcohol in prison just a month ago.
He will forever be the one-punch killer whose drunken rage would destroy a family. Kieran Loveridge has spent the past 12 years behind bars after he coward-punched 18-year-old Thomas Kelly in King's Cross, an unprovoked and senseless attack.
Our son is dead. He's dead because of the hands of this boy, whether he meant to do it or not.
Loveridge's last attempt at parole a year ago was knocked back, but at today's parole hearing, the parents of Thomas Kelly watched on in what would have been the middle of the night from their London home. They did not oppose his parole, but did hope for strong supervision. We lost our beautiful son Thomas to a completely unnecessary violent act. 4 years later, our youngest child Stuart, who was only 14 years old when Tom was killed, took his own life as a result of the loss of his older brother. Our family may never find forgiveness for Mr. Loveridge. The only outcome we can hope for is that he will complete his parole and resume lawful life and never come to the attention of authorities again. For us, we have been handed a double life sentence.
It was those words that brought a wave of emotion throughout the room, including over Kieran Loveridge, who began crying. But that sign of remorse brought little comfort to the Kelly family after learning it was only a month ago their son's killer was caught drinking alcohol, his drunkenness seeing him act aggressively towards correctional staff.
She says he understands the effect that alcohol has on him. The very thing that he has said, I've got this all under control. Well, clearly he hasn't.
It's not the first time Loveridge has played up while in custody, even earning more time on his sentence when he attacked the president of the Rebels biker gang at Silverwater Jail. The associate of the Lone Wolves biker gang going from one prison to the next, including after an alleged affair with a female guard. His now girlfriend today supporting him. Despite all, the parole authority today granted the now 30-year-old's release in as little as 2 weeks. His conditions including weekly alcohol screening and to have no association with outlaw motorcycle groups. Hayley Francis, NBN News.
A man is fighting for life in John Hunter Hospital tonight after a horror 3-vehicle crash north of Scone. Risa Utama joins us now. Risa, 3 people were injured.
That's right, Tash. 2 of them suffered head and leg injuries in the crash, which happened at Winjin. A semi-trailer and an SUV towing a caravan collided on the New England highway just after midday before a delivery truck heading in the opposite direction was also hit. Now, the driver of that truck, a man in his 40s, was airlifted to hospital in a critical condition, while the male driver of the SUV has serious injuries. His passenger is stable. The driver of the semi-trailer was taken to Muswellbrook Hospital for mandatory testing. The pile-up blocked the highway in both directions.
There's a lot of debris, there's heavy vehicles involved, there's a caravan on its side. It'll take some time to recover all the vehicles and get them off the road, so we're looking at an extended period for the highway to be closed.
Tonight the highway is still closed and police are working to determine what led to the accident. Tash.
Risa, thank you.
Explosive claims of drugs and prostitutes have been levelled against Bruce Lerman by the former Channel 7 producer tasked with securing the accused rapist for a story.
Taylor Orbach today became the star witness in the defamation battle with Network 10. The case reopened on what should have been Judgment Day.
He's the ex-TV producer turned star of the show.
How does it feel to be in the spotlight yourself, kind of guy, Taylor? What's it like?
Taylor Orbach blowing the lid on his former employer, 7 News Spotlight, and last year's so-called exclusive with the man accused of raping Brittany Higgins.
There's no question off limits. Go for it.
Today should have been Judgment Day in Bruce Lerman's defamation battle over Lisa Wilkinson's bombshell interview. But Network 10 found an ally in a former foe, Orbach alleging Lerman leaked confidential documents to Channel 7 in breach of court obligations and then lied by denying it. The witness also revealing what 7 months of wooing the former Liberal staffer looked like. I was his babysitter, minder, building up a rapport with a prospective interview subject. Orbach claimed he was promoted and given a pay rise after spending $10,000 of company money on Thai massages for himself and Lerman. On another night, he alleges Lerman purchased a bag of cocaine, put it on a plate, and then started talking to me about a prospective spotlight story and his desire to order prostitutes. The producer was let go from the program last year, admitting he now hates an ex-colleague whose golf clubs he was filmed destroying. Lerman's barrister Matthew Richardson SC accusing Orbach of being out for revenge. I want to suggest you are here today to do as much damage to your former employer and former colleagues as you possibly can. I strongly disagree, and you are prepared to lie in that endeavour. No, sir. Noticeably absent today was Bruce Lerman, who was turned up to almost every other day of his trial. He has rejected Orbach's accusations and is now facing his own defamation threat over those denials. This federal court show is not over, with another explosive episode to come tomorrow. Tiffany Genders, NBN News.
Severe weather is creeping down the New South Wales coast with up to 200 millimetres of rain forecast to fall in some areas in just 24 hours. Flood warnings are in place, but right now the main area of concern is Greater Sydney.
Rain on the horizon. The Hawkesbury community have been here many times before.
Pretty nervous, actually. You just never know.
In Ebenezer, John Lawrence has just finished his most recent renovations. His home has been destroyed by floodwaters 3 times in 3 years.
Can you believe we're here in this situation again? It's ridiculous, And the weather forecasters, they just don't seem to know what's going to happen.
The Bureau of Meteorology has a rough idea, and it's not good.
Particularly in the shorter term, we're looking at, as we head into later parts of Friday, significant rainfall in the order of around 70 to 100 millimetres falling in a 6-hour periods around parts of the Greater Sydney area, and that could see over a 24-hour accumulation upwards of nearly 200 millimetres.
At the Marrickville SES, specialist teams are geared up for every possible scenario, including urban flood rescues.
It only takes 5 centimetres of water to lift a car in fast-flowing water.
The main areas of concern in Sydney are the Hawkesbury and Nepean rivers at Windsor and Richmond, while across the state there are flood warnings in place for the Hunter, Mid-North Coast and Northern rivers. To help out, the RFS have stationed rescue helicopters in Ballina, Taree, Cessnock and Sydney. While SES volunteers prepare, their leader, Commissioner Carleen York, made a shock announcement.
Today I've announced that I'm retiring for the New South Wales SES as the Commissioner.
The timing of her decision to step down in May after 4 years on the job, a puzzling distraction ahead of potential major flooding.
I don't know that the timing was so great, but this was planned. I've been talking to the family. I've certainly been talking with our executive about my decision.
For residents along the Hawkesbury, all eyes are on Warragamba Dam. At the moment, storage levels sit at 96%, and if rainfall totals are anything like what's predicted, the dam will spill. That could spell disaster for communities downstream, still recovering from years of heartache. James Wilson, NBN News.
Firstly, to the satellite, cloud has dramatically increased over the region as atmospheric moisture levels intensify rapidly. The main rain band has been on the move since early this morning, tracking from southern Queensland into northern New South Wales. Smaller but highly focused rain bands have been forming along the coast and will threaten the mid-north coast and Hunter as we move into this evening. Throughout tomorrow, though, the peak period is going to occur during the next 30 hours. The weather system will keep ramping up while tracking across the entire region. The risk of flooding will be with us until Saturday morning.
A woman has died after her vehicle crashed into a tree and rolled near Inverell early this morning. The woman was driving along the Gwyna Highway at Long Plain at approximately 2 a.m. when the vehicle reportedly veered off the road. Police are now investigating the circumstances surrounding the crash.
Torrential rainfall across the northern rivers has prompted minor flood warnings for the region. Emergency services today urging residents to drive safely, having already responded to more than 50 call-outs in 24 hours.
Surging floodwaters triggering road closures across the region. Brazen cars blatantly ignoring warning signs, taking a chance on submerged roads.
We have had 2 flood rescues in the last 24 hours. Unfortunately, one of those looks like it was a vehicle that was inundated by floodwater.
The SES today issuing minor flood warnings for the Tweed, Rouse, Richmond and Wilson's rivers.
That doesn't affect homes in Lismore at that level, so people need to just pay attention to the warnings.
The Bureau of Meteorology forecasting the Wilson's River to surge over 4 metres high. Bungawalbin Creek, Lismore Rowing Club and Hensley Car Park near Fawcett's Bridge in danger of flooding.
In some areas it will be quite heavy. That means that we will see more road closures, we will see more flooding in certain areas.
The SES ramping up its resources, offering sandbags, sand and shovels at all its units.
We are working together with other emergency services to make sure that the community is safe.
So police rescue are tasked to do swiftwater rescue, so anyone that does enter floodwaters can be rescued safely.
The Byron Bay Wildlife Sanctuary shutting its doors early, already partly submerged underwater. Its animals evacuated to higher grounds.
We've had between 100 and 200 mil in a lot of areas.
Today, police closed off sections of Mullumbimby Road and Goulgan Road due to flooding, while Tunstable Creek Road north of Lismore is closed until further notice due to significant rainfall. Authorities urging motorists not to drive through floodwaters and exercise caution on wet roads.
You're putting yourself at risk, you're putting emergency services at risk when there's no need for it.
Andrew Dew, NBN News.
Member for Northern Tablelands Adam Marshall dropped a bombshell today announcing his retirement. He'll end his time on Macquarie Street in May, which means New England voters will soon return to the polls.
Calling it quits. I'll be submitting my resignation as a Member of State Parliament to the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly on Monday the 13th of May.
Adam Marshall with a bombshell announcement. He's leaving politics and his position as member for Northern Tablelands in less than 6 weeks.
It hasn't been a decision that I've made easily. It's been an incredibly difficult decision. But now that I've made it, I'm very, very comfortable with it.
Nearing his 40th birthday, Mr Marshall ticked over into his 20th year of public service last week. Starting out on Gunnedah Shire Council as a teenager, he spent 9 years in local government, including a stint as mayor. State politics came calling in 2013, when he was elected as the local member at a by-election. He started as the Minister for Tourism and Major Events and Assistant Minister for Skills in the Berejiklian government, and later Minister for Agriculture and Western New South Wales. While he doesn't know what the immediate future holds, he's ruled out returning to politics or a shot at federal parliament.
I want to go on to take on some new challenges in the corporate world and obviously take up some more opportunities in my own personal life.
In his tenure, he secured over $2 billion worth of funding for roads, bridges and hospitals. But he says helping individuals was the best part of the job.
that they've had a child removed by a government department, or they've got a loved one that has fallen on hard times.
The news sending shockwaves through the community, announcing the news to all 7 local mayors at a meeting in Inverell this morning.
Today, Adam, I think, caught us all off guard in relation to his announcement.
I'm shattered, to be honest. I don't know that we'll be able to fill those shoes again.
It's a loss to Northern Tablelands. He was a champion for Moree, as he was a champion for Armidale, as he was a champion for Inverell.
Mr Marshall's resignation will now trigger a by-election. The opposition unfazed about losing the seat to Labor, but hopes their Nationals candidate can replicate Mr Marshall's success at the polls.
This is a guy that actually has around 84% of the vote. This is unseen across the state of New South Wales.
He'll address Parliament for the final time when it resumes in May. Rob Douglas, NBN News.
Free parking for visitors to Brunswick Heads will now be a thing of the past after Byron Shire Council voted to endorse the change last week. Areas across the CBD and foreshore will now have a $5 an hour fee enforced. The combination of cash, card and phone app payments all accepted.
Primarily it is about a congestion issue, a traffic issue, and making sure that parks are freed up and turned over so that more people can access the town and shop in the town, access the beach.
The scheme is scheduled to be operational by October.
New bus shelters will be built across the Northern Rivers with the project funded by the state government. Lismore City Council has received $70,000 to build 3 new shelters in Goonellabah and a 4th near Lismore Base Hospital, while Ballina Shire Council received $230,000 to give its existing shelter on Tamar Street a major overhaul.
Will improve accessibility as well as weather protection and for our visitors and our locals as well.
And Tweed Shire has received funding to make its shelters more mobility friendly.
Grafton's Saraton Theatre was packed last night with nearly 800 people attending the screening of Windcatcher to celebrate its main actor, Lennox Monaghan. The 13-year-old joined a dance troupe on stage before the film, playing the didgeridoo and posing for photos with local fans. Well, the rain was expected and the rain certainly arrived. Some heavy downpours already across the region and localised flash flooding, and there's more to come. It was cool today.
Still ahead in NBN News tonight, terrifying footage emerges of the moment a powerful earthquake struck Taiwan.
Good news for struggling households and businesses, with energy bill relief set to continue.
And more trouble for Spain's former football boss.
Effortlessly refreshing. Byron Bay Brewery Premium Lager. Go with it.
I might look like I'm trapped in traffic, but I'm actually loving beaches and wineries.
Rather be in the dreamy southwest? Fly Jetstar straight to Bustleton Mugger River with fares from $135. Ends 9th April. Excludes check baggage. Conditions apply.
Be ready to lend and mate your keys. With Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance, they're covered, the same as you. Get your quote today. Allianz. Special K is made with protein, fibre, iron and essential vitamins. So you can spend less time thinking about eating well and more time on what's special to you. Free your special with Special K.
Whatever the mission, Enterprise is helping people from locations all over Australia, every day.
This is a community that's been pushed to the limit, weathering the extremes of both drought and floods.
No matter how big and tough and bulletproof you are, it wears you down.
They can't stop because you've got to keep going.
It's good to welcome the NRMA back.
I can't stop smiling.
It's not a question of just working on the machinery. It's that human connection, which is very vital.
What started as a hearty handshake ends with a big warm hug. And we hope that what we've done here will help them go further together.
Hello, I'm Charlie King, a Gurindji man. You might have heard me calling the footy on the radio or seen me in your community. As men, we don't yarn much about cancer because we think it might be game over or bring shame to our family. It doesn't have to be like that. If you're worried about a change in your body, have a yarn with a brother or a healthcare worker. It can save lives. It's okay to talk about cancer.
Experience the smooth
unlimited taste of free coffee for a year. Free. Buy any McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for a chance to win.
Not so much.
Aftershocks are rattling Taiwan as rescuers try to free more than 100 people still trapped after yesterday's powerful earthquake. The 7.4 magnitude tremor has left 9 people dead and 1,000 injured, while dozens of buildings are damaged.
Easy driving music intercut by the blare of a mobile warning system. The road rocks. Then the real threat arrives. Boulders plummeting down the mountainsides of Taiwan's east coast. One car struck and a terrifying near miss as the island is hit by its worst earthquake in a quarter of a century. In Hualien City, the quake arrived with an almighty rumble. Those who can run for safety, and moments later, this building crumbles at its foundations, left teetering on the edge at a 45-degree angle. Inside, just as dangerous as out, maternity nurses scramble to keep cots still and newborns safe, fearing the ward's windows may shatter. Scenes like this playing out in home after home. Western Australian MP Tanya Lawrence felt the full force. She was holidaying right by the epicentre, telling 9 News she feared for her life.
The room was shaking so incredibly violently. We could not stand. Quite honestly, we just thought that's going to be the last thing we're going to see, and just felt resigned to our fate, expecting the floors to concertina down upon us, and I just thought it was going to hurt.
Tonight, the search for survivors. It's a delicate, piece-by-piece operation. Dozens of people are trapped, the majority inside 2 mines and a collapsed highway tunnel. The earthquake struck just before 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, and at least 29 aftershocks followed. The epicentre of the 7.4 magnitude quake was on the east of the island, just offshore from Hualien County. The force felt right across the country.
The sway of the building was so much that you thought, oh my God, it's going to collapse around me.
Tonight, the island nation shaken and scrambling to recover. Lauren Tomazi, NBN News.
The repatriations of Australian woman Zomi Frankham and 5 other foreign aid workers have begun. It comes as Israel faces increased pressure to explain the killings in Gaza that have forced other aid agencies to suspend their operations.
Energy bill relief for struggling households and small businesses looks set to be extended for another year. Anthony Albanese today telling business leaders that keeping costs down will be a focus of the federal budget.
From her family's bread shop in Canley Vale, Linda Newen keeps her eye on pate, pork, and now power prices.
My heart drops when the bill comes, to be honest. We try to cut costs, but when you cut costs, you can't make a good living.
The Newen story, like so many other businesses on this strip.
Small businesses have come to me and have just really been shocked at the increase in terms of electricity energy bills for them.
Nearby, the Prime Minister bounding onto centre stage in front of small business with a pledge to put small business centre stage.
Our government understands that for small business, as for Australian families, energy bills remain a source of financial pressure.
Last year, the government's energy price relief included coal and gas price caps, direct energy bill relief for pensioners, veterans, seniors, concession card holders and lower income households in conjunction with state governments.
As we put together next month's budget, small businesses and families will again be front and centre in our thinking.
About 5 million households and 1 million businesses around the country will probably be breathing a sigh of relief at hearing that language, but we don't have the full detail just yet.
The Prime Minister pointing to nearly 1 in 3 businesses having rooftop solar and nearly 1 in 5 with a battery.
Labor governments love to throw money around, but they don't solve the underlying problem. And the underlying problem is the price of electricity is too high.
The opposition voted against the last round of power bill relief and are tonight promoting their own yet-to-be-released plan for nuclear power backed up by gas.
Our government, like you, is focused on what works.
and focused on what will make a difference here and now.
Charles Croucher, NBN News.
Next, we go on board with some real-life heroes as rural fire service crews train to be disaster-ready 24/7.
Triple threat parts of the US hit with tornadoes, rain and snow.
And the large, emotional send-off for a giant panda.
What could your next 19-day holiday look like with TripADeal? Discover Ultimate Japan from $4,999 per person, including Qantas flights. Immerse in Japan's iconic culture, from its serene temples to bustling Tokyo. Experience Osaka, Kyoto, breathtaking Mount Fuji, and more. And book by the 15th of April to earn 10,000 bonus Qantas points on any deal at $999 or more. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
Protect your number one mate with Australia's number one, NexGuard Spectra. It's the most complete protection against fleas, ticks, mites, worms, and even heartworm, all in one tasty chew. NexGuard Spectra.
Going too fast and not paying attention to your surroundings is dangerous for everyone on our roads. So drive slowly around roadworks in New South Wales and look after the people who are making our roads safer. Slow down. Road workers around.
Wrangling your mates on a day at the races isn't always easy. But with Sportsbet's Bet with Mates, at least having a punt together is. Nobody does group betting easier than Sportsbet.
What's gambling really costing you?
Introducing Gillette Labs with Exfoliating Bar. With one-stroke exfoliation, it clears a path on your skin before the blades for an effortless shave. Level up with Gillette Labs.
Okay, so let's go over the plan one more time. So do I cut the leaves down or do you?
You know, for cutting hedge technology, you're not very sharp.
Fair point. So do I cut the leaves down or do you?
Mine at 10, the other hardware store.
Upgrade your technology with great deals on now at Harvey Norman. Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3i with Core i7 power and 16 gig RAM. Hot price, just $1098. The impressive Acer Aspire 5 with a super powerful Intel i9 processor and 16 gig RAM. Amazing value at $1248. Designed to do it all. This HP NBX 360 with Intel Evo Core i7 processor, OLED touchscreen and fast charge technology. Massive saving now under $2,000. More great deals at Harvey Norman now.
Go! How do you like your steak? Medium rare? Well done? On sale? Rump steak was $18.49, now $15.99 per kilo. Aldi, good, different.
Discover Ultimate Japan from $4,999 per person, including Qantas flights. Experience the vibrant cities of Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. Visit serene Mount Fuji and more. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. A horror 3-vehicle crash near Scone has left a man fighting for life in John Hunter Hospital and blocked the New England Highway. There was also traffic chaos near Newcastle this morning, with multiple accidents causing delays and roadwork running overtime at the Hexham Bridge. It's forecast to bucket down right across northern New South Wales over the next 24 hours, with up to 150 millimetres of rain expected in some areas. Parts of the Hunter and North Coast are tonight on flood watch. Old Bar officially has a new ambulance station, but there are concerns ongoing issues at Manning Base Hospital are putting pressure on the emergency department there. And the Central Coast is set to benefit from a major upgrade to play spaces across the region, with new flying foxes and swings, part of the $1 million cash splash.
We're used to seeing RFS volunteers put their lives on the line, but tonight we can take you on board as crews train to face new dangers. Specialists in the Aviation Rescue Squad will be equipped to carry out nighttime winch rescues, a first for the country's firefighters.
A searchlight in the dark and a hero appears from the night sky. 9 News has been given exclusive access as Rural Fire Service aviation rescue crews train for their very first nighttime winch.
I'm really excited. I won't say I'm not nervous about it as well.
Yeah, your mind's going at 100 mile an hour.
We fly out first for a daytime drill near Cataract Dam.
We'll do the tree behind.
Both Paul and Nigel are experienced on the line, but this is a chance to practice their nighttime protocols under supervision.
The rescue crewmen are really transitioning quite well.
Both can perform under pressure, having been deployed during the Eugowra floods, the single biggest day of aviation rescues in Australian history. 70 people plucked to safety.
It was chaos when we arrived. We had people in trees and up to the neck in water. There was such a variety of types of rescues that we had to carry out.
Now they're part of a team of 12 upskilling. Our crews have been carrying out daytime operations for 10 years now, but gearing up for night winching will make the Rural Fire Service the envy of rescue agencies right across the country. Not only allowing round-the-clock extraction of stranded and injured disaster victims, but also dropping in and lifting out our firefighters in remote overnight operations.
We are often in places where there aren't any other machines available, and the fact that we can offer a service to every other agency at that point in time, and that we can actually do it safely and effectively, I think is a real benefit for the state.
Liz Daniels, NBN News.
Millions of Americans are tonight under tornado watch as severe weather sweeps across at least 9 US states, also bringing rain and snow. At least 16 twisters have touched down, destroying homes, ripping up trees and downing power lines. One person has been killed.
Zimbabwe's president has declared a national disaster with the country gripped by a severe drought. It's estimated the crisis will see 2.7 million people face hunger. The African nation is appealing for $3 billion in aid.
He made international headlines when he planted an unsolicited kiss on a player after the Women's World Cup final. Now, Luis Rubiales is embroiled in a fresh scandal. The former Spanish Football Federation president has been detained by police at Madrid's airport as part of an ongoing corruption investigation. He was subsequently released, but is expected to face more questioning in the coming days. A growing number of professional sporting teams are turning their backs on betting advertising. Some of the biggest clubs in New South Wales vowing to reclaim the game and change the way we watch sport.
To go crosstown rivals. Here goes Joe Harton, teaming up to take a stand for their sport.
We're fierce competitors on the court, but we are role models off of it.
The Swifts and Giants rejecting sports betting sponsorship for the next 2 years. It's your turn to cheer and bring the atmosphere.
Don't let a bet take you away from the match.
Netball already has little gambling advertising, but for one of the nation's biggest participation sports, it's about the principle.
To really enable our fans and the community to enjoy sport without necessarily negative impacts.
The latest recruits in a growing list of clubs signing on to the state's Reclaim the Game initiative, including the Swans, Bulldogs and Rabbitohs.
Too many young fans are growing up today thinking betting is the most exciting part of watching sport. It's about knowing the score, not the odds.
But the odds are if you and your kids watch sport, you're well acquainted with betting brands.
They're exposed to gambling advertising at least weekly.
I think there's a community expectation that there is change.
A parliamentary committee recommended a federal ban on ads for online betting by 2026. But 9 months on, still no plan. The status quo of online wagering advertising is untenable, and the government will announce a comprehensive response in due course.
It's an issue that media organisations are also grappling with, including Nine Entertainment, which broadcasts gambling advertising.
A shifting landscape yet to be navigated by all sides of sport. Annalise Bolt, NBN News.
The Aussie dollar and commodity prices all rose today following a positive update from the US Federal Reserve. Finance editor Chris Kohler has the details.
The head of the US Central Bank last night said it will be appropriate to cut interest rates sometime this year. That nudged Wall Street higher and helped along a rally on the ASX 200 today too. Westpac and Macquarie noticeably strong while mining companies slipped. But speaking of mining, commodity prices are on the rise. Copper has hit its highest level in more than a year. The price of gold is at a record high, and crude oil is back around $90 a barrel for the first time in 5 months. All signs of positivity in the global economy. And the Aussie dollar finished the day at its highest level in 2 weeks, buying close to 66 US cents, 60 3/4 euro cents, and 52 British pence.
The fight against cancer has more wind in its sails tonight, thanks to a charity regatta. Organisers of the Heaven Can Wait event today handed over $80,000 to the Cancer Council. The regatta, which lures hundreds of sailors to Lake Macquarie, is the brainchild of cancer survivor Sean Lewicki.
I had a chat to my boat that was sitting in the front yard, and I said eventually we will get out there and sail again. And 2 years to the day, we started the inaugural Heaven Can Wait yacht race.
Here in the Hunter, we've got a very successful home care program, and it goes straight there. So every dollar will go to helping people who've got cancer in the Hunter.
$5,000 was also donated to marine rescue.
Now to a huge outpouring of emotion for one beloved giant panda. 4-year-old Fu Bao's farewell as she left her birthplace of South Korea for a new home in China. Crowds gathered in the rain for one last glimpse of the panda, shouting their goodbyes and taking final photos.
Superstar.
Absolutely. I'm sure they're just children dressed as giant bears.
Yeah, sure.
They really are. Let's take a look at sport now with Sophie Scanlon.
So the Knights have lost some strike power.
Yes, Tyson Frizzell is out due to injury after the break. How Newcastle plans to deal with the Dragons and the weather tomorrow night. Also ahead, the latest on tonight's Storm Broncos clash and the ice hockey match where fists started flying before the puck did.
I might look like I'm trapped in traffic, but I'm actually loving beaches and wineries.
Rather be in the dreamy southwest? Fly Jetstar straight to Bustleton Margaret River with fares from $135. Ends 9th April. Excludes check baggage. Conditions apply.
Sending children's books to remote First Nations communities.
That's the goods!
Delivering mental health information to millions of households.
That's the goods.
Raising funds and providing free mail redirection in times of disaster.
That's the goods.
Making our deliveries and operations more sustainable.
That's the goods.
Australia Post is delivering the goods for communities in every corner of the country. It's another way we're delivering for Australia. At Australia Post.
Australia, the best theme parks in the world are right here on the Gold Coast.
Over 115 world-class rides, slides, shows, characters and attractions with events and entertainment you'll remember forever. Holiday now for days of action, laughter and so much fun together at Village Roadshow Theme Parks. Dishes. They call me morning fresh, I clean up greasy mess. One squirt is enough to get through all the stuff. They call me morning fresh.
Morning Fresh. Power through mess. If your credit card debt is keeping you up at night, move your balance to a NAB low-rate card and save on interest with 0% per annum on balance transfers for 28 months. So you can get your finances and your sleep back on track. NAB, more than money.
Superstore's Ben Feldman. Stars in the darkly funny Stan Original series Population 11.
Looking for my father, Hugo.
A hilarious crime mystery from the director of Hacks and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. In a town this tiny, everyone's a suspect.
Keep a close eye on everyone.
Great, now I have to log that.
The brand new Stan Original series Population 11. Now streaming only on Stan.
They say, good things come to those who wait. Turns out, that wait's only 90 seconds.
Quick sachets half price this week at Woolworths.
Nope, he's not down here either.
Get another look from the Spextravaganza store-wide sale. Get any 2 pairs store-wide for only $1.99. Save up to $200. Limited time only.
It's time for a new era of over 50s living with low-maintenance homes and a new clubhouse opening in early 2024. Live a luxurious life at Time Lifestyle Resort, Evans Head.
Newcastle has suffered a major blow on the eve of its clash with the Dragons, with Tyson Frizzell ruled out due to injury. While the Knights will be missing a star player, St George wants to keep fielding Zach Lomax in 2024, shutting down talks of a swap.
He's been on fire to start the season, but Zach Lomax won't be at the Red V for the next one.
Well, we can't have people that don't want to be here. Probably. So that's the main point. If you don't want to be here, we've worked hard to, turn him around, and it just hasn't happened. So we've got to move forward.
Shane Flanagan's agreed to release the star from the final 2 years of his contract. However, he has no intentions of letting him go any earlier.
There's no play swap going on. Zach's here for the rest of the year. I don't know where they come from, so we'll just move on.
While that storm appears to have passed, another one is brewing, with torrential rain forecast for Newcastle tomorrow.
Both teams will play the same style. It's who manages or who executes it better.
Adam O'Brien admits the weather played a role in his decision to recall Jackson Hastings, whose game management will be crucial in the wet.
Jackson will be the project manager, and Cogs will assist him with it.
The Hastings and Cogger halves combination will be Newcastle's third in 5 weeks.
I'm comfortable making these changes early in the season. We're 5 rounds in. I don't want to be doing them weekly.
O'Brien has also switched his dummy halves, with Brayley named to start for the first time since round 6 last year.
I had this planned well before we even played in New Zealand. I just thought on a 5-day turnaround to flip those guys around. One's been played limited minutes in Brails.
The short turnaround costing the Knights Tyson Frizzell, who's required scans on a hamstring injury. Dylan Lucas will take his place. Jack Howard, NBN News.
AJ Brimson's switch to centre has failed to pay off so far, but the Titans are resisting calls to switch him into the halves or return him to fullback.
The same thing over and over. We keep handing the ball over and then we're not getting field position and then we're not attacking. So AJ's not getting the opportunities and the looks that we want him to get at times.
The Gold Coast takes on the Cowboys in Townsville on Sunday afternoon. Cameron Munster returns for the Storm tonight as they host the Broncos in Melbourne. James Bracey and Andrew Johns filed this preview.
Looking forward to this one tonight for the home side. They love playing there against this team in particular and got some big guns back too.
Yeah, Munster's back, Jerome Hughes is back, which is huge in the halves for the Storm. Brisbane have not won in Melbourne since 2016, so they're up against it. A lot of rain in Victoria the last 3 or 4 days, so might be a real tight game, which suits the Storm.
Melbourne fresh off the bye, getting those big guns back as we mentioned. Brisbane finding the form they needed in the last round.
Yeah, they were extraordinary last week, the Broncos, considering the players they had out. They absolutely smashed the Cowboys. But the Storm down there are just so hard to beat. And in those close games, down in Melbourne, they generally win. So it's a tough one for the Broncos tonight.
Okay, leading the way of Melbourne.
Just.
Thank you, Andrew. Looking forward to this Kia Thursday night footy. As always, live and free on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
One of the most anticipated horse sales in Australian thoroughbred history will take place on Monday when the daughter of the legendary Winx goes through the ring. The filly, side by Golden Slipper winner Piero, has arrived at Inglis's Warwick Farm sale yard and is attracting plenty of interest. The rivalry between the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils is clearly a bitter one. This fight breaking out the moment the puck was dropped to start the game. 5 players from each side paired off and traded blows, the fisticuffs only ending when they all ran out of puff. Still to come, the seesawing battle continues at the top of the Premier League.
In Paris, 2 tips of a moustache hang sadly, for the artist's great work was going so badly. But thankfully, his muse had a Red Bull to lend, and the artist's great torture met the finest end.
At HCF, we don't do fancy welcome gifts, just great life insurance with up to $1.5 million in payment. But don't worry, sign up to Life Protect today and you could still get a free gift from this table. Might keep this.
Around the clock, non-stop, Horizon is always moving. The wheels of Australia's largest rail freight company are always turning, moving around 250 million tonnes of commodities a year, safely and reliably. We're constantly connecting miners, primary producers, and other customers with domestic and international markets, keeping business powering on. Night and day, 24/7. We move. We deliver.
in Government Canberra.
We know how busy the day-to-day can get. Know if you get in an accident, GIO's Platinum Car Insurance hire car cover means you'll get a similar car while we're repairing yours. Get a quote today. You know, with GIO.
At Terry White Chemmart, we're dedicated to keeping busy people moving.
Hey, are we ready?
Book your flu vaccination today.
Oh, it doesn't even hurt me.
Terry White Chemmart, dedicated to care.
At Spotlight's Easter bargain sale, save a massive 20 to 50% off everything store-wide, including all Manchester home decor, fabric sewing, craft party, curtains and blinds. Yes, that's 20 to 50% off everything store-wide. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Invest in things that matter to you today to start building your tomorrow. With the West Lawn Income Fund and as little as $10,000, you could earn up to 7% per annum on a 24-month investment. What are you investing in?
There are two ways to make a mattress. The cheap way?
One piece, single-sided, with attached pillow top made out of foam.
Yes, Mr. Harvey, they should be 50% off. The best way.
Two-piece, double-sided, removable pillow top with thousands of microcoils and a 5-year comfort promise.
Sorry, Mr. Harvey, we make them, you don't.
The Bellissimo mattress, made like no other mattress. Making mattresses, nobody makes a better mattress. Nobody.
I've been using and recommending Wet and Forget products for years. Outdoors, they work a treat on moss and mould. But Wet and Forget have a heap of products to make your life easier. For shower and bathroom cleaning, you can't beat Shower Witch. Clean and sanitise hard surfaces with Wet and Forget Indoor. And get your view back with Window Witch. To see the entire range and find a store near you, visit wetandforget.com.au. Wet and Forget!
Arsenal is back on top of the Premier League after defeating Luton Town 2-0, while a 4-1 win over Aston Villa means Manchester City is only a point behind the Gunners. Liverpool has a game in hand on both teams and will retake the lead with a victory tomorrow morning. The Matildas believe Wednesday's friendly against Mexico in Texas will give them an early taste of the Olympics, 3 months out from their first match in Paris.
I think they're going to replicate a lot of what the opponent's going to bring us when we go to the Olympics. So it's going to be really helpful in that aspect.
In the A-League, Sydney FC is back in the top 4 despite conceding an equaliser to draw 1-1 with Perth. Organisers of the Australian Women's Classic say they have a number of contingency measures in place should the forecasted rain continue before tee-off tomorrow. But players braved the unfavourable conditions at the Bonville course today for one final practice.
A light atmosphere in the air today as players get a final feel for the Bonville course. This year's New South Wales Women's Open champion picking up on the intricacies of the bunkers and greens during her morning practice.
It's one of those courses you have to play a lot because there's a lot of quirky things on the greens, but we'll see what happens with the rain. It might change a lot the way you play it.
The Colombian saying she's shooting consistently and wants to go 3 rounds under par.
The confidence is there from last week. I've been playing good the week before. Last week was pretty good too in the US. So I'm really excited for this week and looking forward to see what happens.
Nambucca Heads golfer Darcy Habgood treating her 9 holes like a tournament.
Not hitting a second ball if I hit a bad shot, playing my ball out, and then just having a look at where the pins are going to be. I think my short game is at a good place at the moment, something that I've been working on pretty hard to improve on.
It's her first time playing the Classic since becoming a professional.
Turning professional's been a bit of a struggle, kind of starting off, so making the cut is my goal.
Tee times have been released with players on course from 7:15 a.m. They'll play 18 holes both tomorrow and Saturday before the field is cut in half. Contingency plans have also been put in place if the rain disrupts play.
Golf's an outdoor sport, they'll play unless the course is deemed unplayable, and there's conditions and rules around that. But thankfully Bonville's probably the quickest drying golf course in Australia, so we get back out there pretty quickly.
Britt Ramsey, NBN News.
The official start of the Northern Rivers Rugby League season is just days away, and the Kyogle Turkeys are champing at the bit, recruiting some major names to their starting lineup. The team are out to redeem themselves after a wooden spoon finish in 2023.
It wasn't the season the Kyogle Turkeys had in mind, but this year they mean business.
We need to prepare better, we need to be better, we need to be fitter, we need to be stronger.
Finishing at the bottom of last year's NRRL ladder, the Turkeys wasted no time in getting their pre-season rolling in December, with their sights set on a semi-finals appearance.
It was something that we decided was non-negotiable, and we had to put some actions into place.
Undergoing a complete team rebuild, rugby league veterans Ryan Walker, Ollie Regan and Joshua Beach have joined the ranks in the hopes to push them to new heights.
The experienced guys are there to help the younger guys evolve, be better, and challenge them as well with our targets and our goal setting.
With 2 decades of rugby union coaching under his belt, Kyogle's new leader Paul Jeffrey has embraced the challenge of a code switch and says there's been a major focus on goal setting and self-belief.
If we can get everybody to put in maximum effort, it's going to give us a 50-50 chance. And if we can get a 50-50 chance, then, the players can look after the rest.
The squad now preparing to travel to Yamba for their first hit-out, taking on the Lower Clarence Magpies on Sunday.
They put the cleaners through us twice last year, so it's a good chance to basically start the season on a high.
Kick-off is from 2:45 p.m. at Yamba Sporting Complex. Alexandra Rees, NBN News.
Now, it all depends on whether the weather will provide. What's it going to do, Gav?
Well, it is going to provide a lot of rain. That is what it is going to provide, already moving in across the system, and there's a lot more to come overnight and again throughout tomorrow. Details next.
Janine Balding, taken 36 years ago. One of her killers says it wasn't me.
They're just scum.
A current affair next.
There's not too many guarantees in life, but one thing that's certain is the importance of community and home. Home is where the heart is, where dreams and memories are planned and made. Our experience has taught us that everyone's home and families are different. People's journey to find their perfect home is different. Whether you're buying, selling or renting, call Elders Alstonville. We can help you achieve your dreams.
The Murray-Darling rivers pump life through our nation, to our farms, communities and environment. But water's being overused and the next drought is only a matter of time. Find out how the Australian Government's plan will restore the Murray-Darling rivers. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Meet my boyfriend, Jake.
What's up, everyone?
What is all over your feet?
They're flowers. I study botany.
Resting dad face back there likes plants too.
Grab some pruners. Let's prune.
At Coles, free KitchenAid ovenware is back. Spend $20 in one transaction and scan your Flybuys to earn one ovenware credit. There's popular favourites, plus 3 new pieces to get you cooking. Free KitchenAid ovenware, only at Coles.
At Priceline, you'll love the big brand makeup sale, with up to half price off your favourite makeup brands. Plus, collect double Sister Club points when you shop the sale. But be quick, sale ends Monday.
You are my best friend and we've got some things to do.
Hester, super with impact.
On now, Harvey Norman Super Deals on Bosch. Get a bonus gift card plus bonus local delivery with the Bosch Series 4 8kg washer, only $7.99. Or step up to the German-made Series 8 washer with Allergy Plus, plus bonus $70 gift card and bonus local delivery. Bosch Series 6 dishwasher Super Deal with bonus gift card, bonus finish pack and bonus local delivery. Bosch Series 4 Pyrolytic Oven, only $12.99, plus bonus $65 gift card. Limited time only. Bosch Super Deals at Harvey Norman.
Say FFS to the cost of living with OMF's famous floor stock sale. Get up to 55% off selected mattresses, plus get up to 48% off selected run-out bedroom furniture. The famous floor stock sale ends Sunday.
Don't miss the Spalms Charity Golf Day, April 10 at Sanctuary Cove. Join Gary Webb, Alyssa Healy and other sporting legends. Get a team together and support the Australian Melanoma Research Foundation. Spalms Charity Golf Day, April 10 at Sanctuary Cove.
Heavy rain overnight and early this morning. We've already received 100mm accumulations across parts of the northern rivers. The main rain band moving south, but there is more to come. Let's take a look at this weather photo. Port Macquarie Lighthouse. The grey matter is big. It is widespread. The cloud has increased dramatically across our broadcast area. Great shot from Adam. The past 24 hours, we had the big falls right throughout Queensland, and here were the numbers. We had lots of 50, 60mm, but as I said, some locations there already accumulating 100mm, and the cloud has increased dramatically. There's two systems working hand in hand. Here you've got the coastal trough line drawing massive amounts of moisture off that very warm East Australian current, and then you've got the tropical moisture drawing down from the northwest, all mixing with that colder air. So this is going to be the hardest hit areas from the Central Coast, Sydney Basin, Illawarra, southern New South Wales coast. It's a hooking low there, or a black nor'easter really for us, and you can see the worst of it mostly inland and to the south, but the threat of localised flash flooding is going to linger now that that ground is saturated. So very wet right throughout the east with no sunshine on offer. All fine throughout the southeast for Adelaide, the Alice, Perth again up and over 30 degrees for another day. So there was some of the heavy falls and storms embedded in that system, and then some nice breaks, which is great news, allowing for that 100mm downpour to run downstream. We've had our local river systems there rise, and they will continue to do so as that water streams southward. Look at the winds. They'll really kick in throughout tomorrow. Howling nor'easters, very, very strong, drawing in that moisture. The potential for heavy downpours again over the next 24 hours, but the worst of it inland and to the south, but we are still going to be hit intermittently from here on in. Generally low to mid-20s. It's going to be overcast grey, and the potential for storms and heavy downpours in short bursts, so therefore localised flash flooding is certainly a threat, and we may see low-level flooding and broad-scale river flooding and streams as well, so please take care. The swell about 1.5 metres, very, very messy when those onshores kick in tomorrow, drawing in a hard and fast. Sun to rise at 7 a.m, down at 6:40, so we've got an early morning high tide dropping back to the low and getting there at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Storms potentially embedded in that system, and you can see for Saturday still some very heavy potential in there for us. This system will keep coming through in waves until Sunday, then beginning to back off as we move into early next week. So we've got a long way to go before the threat is over. So there is certainly going to be the threat of flooding across portions of the northern rivers yet again. So now we're starting to work on a saturated ground because of the overnight downpour. So please take care. Now, the ocean's going to change. It is not safe for rock fishing, boating, etc. The swell, probably see some light winds again tomorrow morning, potentially, but then it's going to blow out, and then it's going to be messy, and it's not really going to be that inviting. Beach days are over for a little while, but very unsafe conditions for most coastal activities. So please take care, particularly once those winds kick up throughout tomorrow. We start to see the swell, but everything is just going to become very, very messy across most of our open beaches. So please take care over the next 50 to 60 hours. Well, we've already seen chaos on the roads. Travelling not recommended until this system passes.
Okay, thank you, Gav. That is NBN News.
From all of the team.
Good night.
Good night.